Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jagannath Jagannath Jaya Parade Jaya Subhaja Jaya Jagannath Jagannath Jaya Jaya Rukmini Dogadish Rukmini Dogadish Rukmini Dogadish Rukmini Dogadish Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jam Vishnu Padapanamahamsa Parina Chakcharya Ashtadada Satta Shri Shrima His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Padapanamahamsa Parina Chakcharya Ashtadada Satta Shri Shrima His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinan Shama Kun Radha Kum Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagnapuri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Chamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai Transcendental Prasada Distribution Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai ISKCON Youth Gadam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramanandi Hari 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 Bo All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis Hare Krishna All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis Hare Krishna All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis Hare Krishna All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Namo Vishnu Saraswati Namo Vishnu Saraswati Namo Vishnu Saraswati Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udidayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 12, text number 48. Shabda Brahmatmanas Tasya Vyakta Vyaktatmana Paraha Brahmavabhati Vitato Nana Shakti Upabrimhita Shapta Brahma Shatra Brahmatmana Tasyas Vyakta Vyakta Manapara Brahmavabhati Vitato Nana Shakti Upabrimhita Shata Brahmatmanastasya Vyakta Vyakta Manapara Brahmavabhati Vitato Nana Shakti Upabrimhita Shata Brahmanastasya Vyakta Vyakta Manapara Brahmavabhati Vitato Nana Shakti Upabrimhita Mataji's Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound, Atmanaha, of the Supreme Lord, Tasya, His, Vyakta, manifested, Avyakta Atmanaha, of the unmanifested, Paraha, transcendental, Brahma, the Absolute, Avapati, completely manifested, Vitataha, distributing, Nana, multifarious, Shakti, energies, Upabrinhitaha, invested with. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the source of transcendental sound, and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the Absolute Truth and is invested with multifarious energies. Purport. The post of Brahma is the highest responsible post within the universe, and it is offered to the most perfect personality of the universe. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to become Brahma when there is no suitable living being to occupy the post. In the material world, Brahma is the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and transcendental sound, pranava, comes from him. He is therefore invested with multifarious energies from which all the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna are manifested. His transcendental value is not to be minimized, even though he exhibited a tendency to enjoy his own daughter. There's a purpose for the exhibition of such a tendency by Brahma, and he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. Om Jnana Timinandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Umilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtan Stapitan Yena Bhutane Swayanupakadama Hyan Tadati Swam Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahagana Nakunata Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitan Savatuta Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindava Nishvari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakaupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishvanebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadhatra Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakta Vinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shatta Brahma Manastasya Vyakta Vyaktat Manapara Brahma Vabhati Vitato Nana Shaktyu Pabrinhita. So here, Maitreya Muni, he is continuing answering the questions of Vidura. So Maitreya Muni, he said, Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of the transcendental sound, and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the Absolute Truth and is invested with multifarious energies. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he said that, actually Srila Prabhupada, he said here in the purport that the post of Brahma is the highest responsible post within the universe, and it is offered to most perfect personality of the universe. So one may ask, what is the qualification to be the most perfect personality of the universe? Actually, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami, he has already answered this question. So in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami, first of all, he listed 64 transcendental qualities of Lord Shri Krishna. And one who can attain 50 of these transcendental qualities, then he can be the most perfect personality of the universe. Yeah. So let's take a look of the 64 qualities Srila Rupa Goswami he listed in the Nectar of Devotion. Srila Rupa Goswami, after consulting various scriptures, has enumerated the transcendental qualities of the Lord as follows. 1, beautiful feature of the entire body. 2, marked with all auspicious characteristics. 3, extremely pleasing. 4, effulgent. 5, strong. 6, ever useful. 7, wonderful linguist. 8, truthful. 9, talks pleasingly. 10, fluent. 11, highly learned. 12, highly intelligent. 13, a genius. 14, artistic. 15, extremely clever. 16, expert. 17, grateful. 18, firmly determined. 19, an expert judge of time and circumstances. 20, sees and speaks on the authority of the Vedas, of scriptures. 21, pure. 22, self-controlled. 23, steadfast. 24, forbearing. 25, forgiving. 26, grave. 27, self-satisfied. 28, possessing equilibrium. 29, magnanimous. 30, religious. 31, heroic. 32, compassionate. 33, respectful. 34, gentle. 35, liberal. 36, shy. 37, the protector of surrendered soul. 38, happy. 39, the well-wisher of devotees. 40, controlled by love. 41, all auspicious. 42, most powerful. 43, all famous. 44, popular. 45, partial to devotees. 46, very attractive to all women. 47, all worshipable. 48, all opulent. 49, all honorable. 50, the supreme controller. So those are 50 qualities that the transcendental qualities, this is the 50 transcendental qualities of the Lord that the jivas can also attain. But besides these 50 qualities, it is said here that Lord Krishna possessed 5 more, which are sometimes partially manifested in the persons of Brahma or Lord Shiva. These transcendental qualities, these 5 transcendental qualities are as follows. 51, changeless. 52, all cognizant. 53, ever fresh. 54, Sachi Ananda, possessing an eternal blissful body. 55, possessing all mystic perfections. Yeah. So those 5 that sometimes Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva can possess, those 5 qualities. And then beside this one, Lord Krishna also possesses 5 other qualities which are manifest in the body of Narayan, and they are listed as follows. 56, he has inconceivable potency. 57, uncountable universe generate from his body. 58, he is the original source of all incarnations. 59, he is the giver of salvation to the enemy whom he kills. 60, he is the attractor of liberated souls. And then, Lord Krishna, besides the 60 transcendental qualities, Krishna has 4 more which are not manifest even in the Narayan form of Godhead. So what to speak of the demigods or the living entity? So the other 4 qualities, they are as the follows. 61, he is the performer of wonderful varieties of pastimes, especially his childhood pastimes. 62, he is surrounded by devotees endowed with wonderful love of Godhead. 63, he can attract all living entities all over the universes by playing on his flute. 64, he has wonderful excellence of beauty that cannot be rivaled anywhere in the creation. So among all the 64 transcendental qualities of the Lord, a jiva soul, if he can attain the first 50 qualities, then he is considered to be the most perfect personality of the universe. And then he can take the post of Lord Brahma. Yeah. Actually, in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada, he also writes in the purport, Prabhupada, he said, then scholars in transcendental subjects have carefully analyzed the Samabodham Krishna to have 64 principal attributes. All the expansions or category of the Lord possess only some percentage of these attributes. But Sri Krishna is the possessor of the attributes 100%. And then Prabhupada, he said, Lord Shiva, he possessed almost like 84% of the attributes. But the jivas, or the individual living beings in different status of life, possess up to the limit of 78% of the attributes. So 78% times 64 is 50, it's equal to 50 like that, Yeah. So if the jivas can possess 50 transcendental qualities of the Lord, or 70% of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, then he's considered a perfect personality. So in the conditioned state of material existence, the living being possesses these attributes in very minute quantity. Yeah. Varying in terms of the pious life of the living being. The most perfect of the living being is Brahma, the supreme administrator of mind universe. So he possesses 78% of the attributes in full. That means Lord Brahma, he possesses all the 50 transcendental qualities of the Lord. All other demigods have the same attributes in less quantity, whereas human beings possess the attributes in very minute quantity. The standard of perfection for the human being is to develop the attribute up to 78% in full. The living being can never possess attributes like Lord Shiva, Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. A living being can become godly by developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness. But he can never become a god like Shiva, Vishnu, or Krishna. Yeah. So that's why Lord Brahma here is considered the most perfect personality of the universe, because he possesses 78% of all the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, I just stop here. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Bhakta Kir.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the class. So that list is referring to conditioned living entities, right? Could only possess 50, because
out of all the 64 transcendental qualities of the Lord, the conditioned soul can acquire only 50 of them.
Yes. Okay. Because in the liberated state, they're pure devotees, unconditioned.
Exactly.
They probably have more than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Actually, I was asking, Rabindranath Prabhu before the class, the question, what is the qualification to be the most perfect personality? And Rabindranath Prabhu immediately said, a pure devotee of Krishna is a perfect human being. Of course, a pure devotee of Krishna is a perfect human being, but we have to say, that the qualities, what does the pure devotee have, So all the 50 qualities of the Supreme Lord, that should be there also. Yeah. Yes, Ananda Kenabu.
Okay. If the first birth of the jiva, when they fall to this material world, is Lord Brahma, does that mean that they possess all 50 qualities?
Yes, I think so. Otherwise, he cannot take the post of Lord Brahma.
So that means at one point we possessed all those 50 qualities, right?
Sorry, say it again?
That means all of us possess those 50 qualities at one point.
Yes, that's true. But we are having in minute quantity only. Yes, such
I think along with the qualities that you mentioned for Lord Brahma qualified to have the post, someone can correct me, but I think there's also that he, for 100 consecutive births, he performs pious activities, and that qualifies that living entity who performs that many times of pious activities. He can become he can take the post to Lord Brahma.
Actually, I heard somebody was telling me that if one can stay brahmachari, or if I'm wrong, please correct me. Somebody was telling me that if one can stay brahmachari all his life, then the next life he can take the position of Lord Brahma. No? Please correct me.
He can live in the Tapaloka, one of the higher planets. That brahmacharis, sannyasis.
But definitely by practicing austerity, you definitely can acquire lots of good qualities. Yeah. Yeah, and actually that reminds me the history in China, you know. Say before the communists take over the China, the communists, they undergo very severe austerity. Yeah, and that's why they become really very powerful. Whereas the other, you know, leaders in the government, they are very corrupted. They were all engaged in all kinds of sense gratification, and they are becoming weaker, weaker, and weaker. So finally, the communists take over. Yeah, you know, in order to get power, they started a long march, traveling for long march for 25,000 里. 25,000 里, that means more than 10,000 kilometers. 10,000, more than 10,500 kilometers. They had a long march like that, you know. And they have nothing to eat practically. They do not even have proper clothes to wear. But still, they are so determined. And by practicing this type of austerity, they became really very powerful. And ultimately, they overthrown the old government and took the power, you know. Definitely, by practicing austerity, you know, one can become very powerful, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, we will stop here. Thank you very much for coming. Gantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gauranga Bhaktavinda ki jai.